Hi, this is Craig. I'm going to show you how to perform my very favorite effect with proximity. I call it 50-50. What you're going to need is the proximity tag and your receiver. You can use different objects if you like, but I use two bills, and I actually use two $100 bills or €100 bills. You can use less if you like. And I have a magnet. It's not absolutely required, but I do use a magnet, and I have a wallet where I keep the money inside of. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to tape the tag to the back of the bill. I literally tape it with a piece of black gaff tape. You can see it there. It's easy for you to see it. When I pull the bills out of the wallet, you don't see this. I pull it out of the wallet and I put one to one side and I show the other side, and I put these two together, and then they get rolled up and wrapped with a rubber band, so you never see that black side in it. It looks like I'm very freely handling the bills. You can get fancy if you want to and take another bill and cut it and make a little pocket so that you could show maybe both sides of the bills if you really feel guilty about it. You can do that. I don't bother. I perform it just like this. You're going to see a performance at the end of this, so you can see how that's done. Now, the proximity has a magnetic on-off switch. If you put it next to a magnet, it turns on. If you put it next to the magnet again, it turns off. It's just swiping it past the magnet that turns it on and off. You should practice this because it's not just a quick swipe. Sometimes you've got to hold it there for a second and remove it. Sometimes when you're removing it, you get two hits with it, so you might turn it on and off again. So you've got the receiver on you. People always ask me, well, how do I know if it's on? Well, it'll buzz you when it's on. So when you swipe it past the magnet, do it until you're getting buzzing, because then you know it's on. So what I do is I actually have a magnet taped to my wallet, and I also use the same black gaff tape. And then as I'm holding the bills like this, let's say the magnet was right here. As I'm holding the bills, I run it past the magnet. You can do that either after you've wrapped them up, if you like, or you can do it before. So let's talk about how I wrap these bills up. I'm going to stick the tag inside here just to make it a little bit bulkier. There. Now it's completely attached. So we're going to walk through this. I pull the bills out. I have it here. We pull the bills out. I put the tag into this hand. I show the back side of this one. I put these together. Now I put them on top of my wallet in order to actually roll them up as if it's like a little table. It doesn't look too obvious. I do two rolls with it. So there's the tag right there. I roll it over once, roll it over again, and I have the tag running this direction, up and down. I have it running up and down like this. You can run it this way if you want to, but I have it running this way. So I fold it over twice, like that, and like this, and then I simply fold, I kind of do like a Z fold, like this. I just feel that if it's done like that, you can't feel the tag inside. Then I wrap it. I have a rubber band on my wrist. I pull it off. I give it like a double, triple wrap. I always carry an extra rubber band just in case it breaks. If it breaks, you're in trouble. So I carry two rubber bands. It's kind of like having a tossed out deck. Always have an extra rubber band with you. So I wrap that twice, and now I have this guy ready to go, and it's sitting there and it's buzzing me. Okay, now you need to have the Pro Mystic receiver, and you need to wear it in the front, in your belt or under your belt, in the pant lining. And the reason for that is because it uses your body to block signals. So if you get this and you wrap this thing up and you set it somewhere and you hold this in your hand and you say, oh, it's not working, it's not working the way you said it would, put it in your belt. It needs to be there. Don't strap it to your arm, don't strap it to your ankle, don't do anything different with it unless you totally understand how it works. And then you can try different locations if you really want to. But have it inside of your belt. Second thing is, when you do this, don't say, well, I stuck it in my belt and I put the bill on the table and I can't find out where the bill is because I'm getting signals from everywhere. You need to have this in somebody's hands. It's very specifically designed for this application. It's a great routine. It's very specifically designed for it. It needs to be inside of somebody's hands. The hands over this unit block a good percentage of the signal, and you need that to be true. Third thing is you need to set your tag to maximum power. That's all the way clockwise on the dial. I always use maximum power for it. So, in any case, I pull the bills out, and I go through this entire setup before I bring people up. Or like barely, like after I start doing this, then I might start pulling people up. The reason for that is I used to, accidentally, I've done this where I said, okay, I need 8 people to help me out with the next thing. And then I bring up 8 people, and then I'm pulling the bills out, going through all this, and it's total chaos on stage. Because you're trying to direct 8 people, and it's just a bad thing. So bring the people up after you've wrapped the bills. Now, you select 8 people, and you ask them, and I always pull them from one side of the room, and you ask them to get on one side. You explain to them what you're going to do. All of you are going to have your hands together. You're going to form into a huddle, and you're going to put your hands together. One of you is going to have the bill. The rest of you are going to act like you have the bill. You got to be very clear on that because it's confusing to them. I've done it so many times, and you have to be very clear on the way you say that. Say all of you are going to have your hands just like this. So it looks like you have the bill, but only one of you is going to actually have the bill. So I say it like once or twice. Then I hand them the bill. I told them to get together, make sure that only you guys know where it is, that nobody else in the room knows where it is. Not even me. Great, I'm going to wait over here. So this is the point where I start making distance between myself and the tag. So they're over on this side, they're making a decision. I get over on this side, and I want to be I like to be 8 feet away. My arm distance is 6 feet, almost. And then I may be another foot or 2 away. So I like to be 8 feet away. I stand over there and I wait. My back's turned. I'm not looking at what they're doing. When they're done, I say to the audience, and it's a very true statement, watch what's about to happen. It's very interesting. And this is where I get most of my information. Would 4 of you please join me over here? I never tell them which 4. You can change the routine to whatever you want to do, but I say, would 4 of you just join me over here? And again, 4 of them, they don't always know who's going to come over, but 4 do join you. And then I make some room between them, and I kind of work my way behind them or in front of them, and I want them to be at about 8 feet apart from the other group. And you'll know if when you do this, just use 2 people, one on this side and one on this side. If you stand, the receiver's in the front of you, toward the center, if you stand facing this group, you will get a signal from somebody in that group, if someone in that group has the tag. When you turn and face this way and you walk toward that group, you won't get a signal unless somebody has it. It's a very clear indication. You don't have to get really close. In fact, I think the more distance you can give, so if you start walking toward them and you're getting a clear signal and you turn around, you walk this way and you're not getting any signal, stop there. Don't get closer to them. Having the distance between you and them sells it even more. So the more distance I can have, the better between myself and them. Because again, I'm reading body language. I don't want to look like I'm, doing it with RFID or scanning their hands or any of those kind of things. I want to be as far as I can. I always, once I've found it, you can use whatever pattern you want. If you want to say, the person leaves the scene of the crime, I've used that before. There's a bunch of different ways to do it. You can also do it, say, I want all of you to be truth tellers. Or you can say, I want all of you to be liars, depending on how you want them to answer you, however you think it's going to play better for you. They can be truth tellers, they can be liars. It's entirely up to you. In fact, someone suggested, I think it's a decent idea to have everybody liars instead of having everybody truth tellers. Might make it funner, so you're trying to find the liars. In any case, I always say, after I've gone through the pattern, I say, would the 4 of you open your hands, show your empty hands, and have a seat? And I always say those 2 things together. Show your empty hands and have a seat. It's a very confident thing that you're telling them to sit down because you know that they don't have it. And by doing this, you've got an applause cue going because you're opening your hands. Show your empty hands and have a seat. Let's give them a nice round of applause. So it really helps get a good round of applause each time that you do this. And again, saying to them, show your empty hands and have a seat, you're showing that you're very, very confident that they don't have it and they're going to sit down. And that's a very good way to do it. So they've sat down, you've got 4 left. You can have them switch at this point if you want. I've done it that way. So now the 4 of you may want to switch around who has it to give it to the best liar, if you like. Or you can have them just keep it the same, however you want to do it. But I always say, now, let's watch very closely, because this is where I get most of my information, but I always say it gets more and more difficult. The fewer people I have to work with, the harder it is to perform this effect, because I have I have less body language to read. So again, it's progressively getting more and more difficult. The reality is it's getting easier and easier. But I say, now, 2 of you will just naturally join me over here. I always say something like that to And at this point, nobody typically moves because you've already done it once. And it's always funny, the audience enjoys that, but you bring 2 people over, you do the exact same procedure, if you like, or you can change it up. But again, by facing this group and by facing this group and walking toward them, you're going to get a signal from only one group. And again, please show your empty hands and have a seat. And this is at the point where when I separate them out, and I'm very confident that I know where it's at. If I'm having any difficulties for any reason, I don't go this far, but I don't usually have any difficulties. So at this point, I say, I'll tell you what, just to make it more interesting, if I miss this time, you guys can split the money. That's why I use 2 bills, because when it makes sense when I roll it, it makes it bulkier anyways, but you guys can split the money. You each get to keep $100. And then I face one group, I face the other, one person, the other person, again, have difficulty. And at this point, I always say, please could I have my money back? So I don't say, show your empty hands and have a seat. I go to the person that has it and I say, can I have my money back? And then, of course, that person very slowly will open their hands and hand you back the money. So, again, that's how to find your money in a large group of people, like 8 people. I don't recommend this as an opener. There's way too much going on. It's way too procedural. Some people want to do like a witch hand kind of effect as an opener, and I definitely don't recommend this because by the time you get 8 people up there, you've got to have a lot of audience control. Otherwise, it turns into a bit of chaos. So, managing and moving these people around is kind of like herding cats. So don't do it as an opener. Do it somewhere in the middle of your show, or you can close with it if you like. But I wouldn't do it as an opener. Just my personal experience. So I hope you enjoy it. I think it gets fantastic reactions, and thanks for watching.
Now let's try something just a little bit different now. I have in my wallet $200 euros. Now, nobody's going to win or lose any money today, but I do need about 8 people to help me out with this, because I'm going to attempt to find my money within this audience. So if I could just get 8 English-speaking people to step up and help me out, that would be great. I need 8 people. If you could just stand right over here. Just form a group right over there. Perfect. And we just put a rubber band on this. Perfect. Now this is what we're going to do. I'm going to have you form a group. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. I'm going to have you guys form into a group. And this is going to be as if I lost this money. Okay? And one of you is going to find it. So you're going to get into a small group, and you're all going to put your hands together so that nobody in this audience can possibly see who has this money. Your hands will be together, so it looks like all of you have it, but only one of you is going to have it. So you guys decide amongst yourself, okay? I will give it to you. You guys huddle together. I will step on this side of the room. And just let me know when you're done. You're done? Excellent. This is the interesting part. If 4 of you would just come join me over here. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4. Just right over here is perfect. Excellent. If you 2 would just, or you 4 would just turn around this way and face me, that would be perfect. Let's just have you 4 like right over here. Perfect. And the 4 of you are right here. Excellent. So this is very, very interesting from a psychology standpoint. So I've lost my money and one of you has found it. Now, typically, a person like this, maybe a crook, but maybe just someone that found some money, would want to leave the scene of the crime. But we are definitely working with magicians here, so it's a little bit different. Magicians are much more crafty than that. So, those of you that did leave the scene of the crime, if you would just all show your empty hands and have a seat. Thank you. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. It's much easier to read body language when you have a group of people, because the person that's actually doing the line, because they all know who's doing the line, the focus of attention seems to be on them, and you get to read the body language of everybody. But now we're left with 4 people. So it gets to be a little bit more difficult, okay? So, would 2 of you just join me over here? Interesting. It usually doesn't happen that quickly. usually they just kind of stand there not knowing exactly what to do. Let me just ask, have the two of you seen my money? And you can say no. No, you have not seen it? Interesting. And can I just ask, have the two of you seen my money? No, and you have not seen it either. He's very intent. Interesting. He's very focused. He's very stone-faced. I think we have some professional magicians that are not leaving the scene of the crime. If the two of you would just show your empty hands, you can have a seat. Now, we are down to 2. I'll tell you what, we'll make it interesting. That was 200 euros. Like I said, no one's going to win or lose any money. But, if I miss this time, I'll give you each a free copy of this trick. Now, of course, it didn't work, so you may not want it. But that's okay, because you can go on eBay, and you can put it up there, and you can say, it works perfectly, it just wasn't right for my show. Yeah? We've all seen that before. Excellent. So, if you guys like, you could get together, figure out who the better liar is, and maybe you want them to have the money, maybe you don't, but the two of you can huddle together, you can change if you like, and let me know when you're done. But one of you must have it. One of you definitely has it. Either one of you join me over here. Oh, you stepped out right away. Perfect. And you didn't. So have you seen my money? No. And have you seen my money? All right, let's not be dramatic. Just hand me my money back. Thank you very much.